Welcome to this year's Red Shield Appeal Door Knock Collectors training session. I'm Peter March and I'll be taking you through all the things you need to know to be a door knock collector. First up, a big thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy lives and committing to help us out in this year's appeal. Your past commitment to the appeal has made a huge difference, and this year we know the money you raise will be used to fund our much needed social services. Services which are available to you. So let's get started. Now, when you arrived this morning, you should have been given your white Red Shield collector's bag. Now, this is very important. You will use it to carry the money you collect. But inside the bag are some very important items. Let's take a look. First of all, there's your identification card. You need to fill in all the details and get it endorsed by a Red Shield official to show you're an authorised volunteer collector. Once the card is completed, you need to clip it onto the lanyard provided, and then make sure it's worn over your neck so it is clearly visible to the public. Another helpful item is the collector's folder. This is important because on the back of the folder there are 12 different languages available to show the public who can't speak English. If they don't understand you, then simply show them the back of the card. There are also salvo called envelopes inside the bag, which you can leave at houses where people haven't answered the door. These envelopes can also be given to people who want to make a credit card donation. You'll also find in the bag a collector's receipt book, and there are a few details which need to be filled out before we head off for the day. First of all, if we open up the collector's record, which is the green page, we need to fill in the receipt book number, which is found on the first receipt page. Then fill in your name, address, contact phone number, and organisation, school or corps you're a part of. It's important that you fill out a receipt for every donation you receive, even if the householder doesn't want one. When you fill out a receipt, it's important to include the date and sign the receipt. You can plan ahead and save time by filling these two details in prior to knocking on the door. Please write in all the other required details clearly and correctly. Remember, the receipt book has a carbon copy function, so make sure you place the cardboard slip between the yellow page and the next white receipt so you don't make a carbon copy of the receipt onto every other page in the book. Remember to press hard so that the details come through onto the copy. When you've finished filling in the receipt, tear out the white slip and hand it to the householder. Remember, a receipt is required for all donations over $2. Now, for your own safety and well-being, before you start, you should familiarise yourself with the area you'll be collecting in. You should have been given a map of your area allocated. Look for any landmarks on the map, such as schools, fields, shops and high-rise buildings, so you don't get lost. Please make sure you have an emergency contact number of either your team captain or driver before you leave. Make sure you also let them know where and when to pick you up. Now, the driver will be driving in the area to keep a lookout for you, but make sure you have their number just in case. Remember, you should keep yourself safe at all times and not put yourselves in any danger. It is safer to work as a team, whether by crossing over each other or two on one side of the street and two on the other. Or if you want, you can go both to the same house. It is always safer for you to stand on the doorstep, as you can usually then be seen from the road. Whatever happens, do not enter the house. If you happen to be collecting in an area where there are high-rise apartments or households with high security, skip these premises and move on to the next appropriate household as access is difficult and waste time. There is also a good chance that the apartment block may have received a letter through the mailing appeal. But now down to the most important part of Red Shield collecting, your presentation to the public. Remember, whenever you arrive at someone's house and knock on the door, always greet them with a smile.
Good morning, we're from the Salvation Army, collecting for the Red Shield Appeal.
Would you like to make a donation?
If the householder decides to donate, then gladly fill out a receipt and hand it to them, thanking them for their donation. If the householder doesn't want to give a donation, still thank them and mention if they decide to change their mind, they can make a credit card donation and offer them a salvo called envelope. If they're still not interested, then simply thank them again and be on your way. Whatever happens, please don't be rude. Remember, you are representing the Salvation Army. If no one is home, place the salvo called envelope in the letterbox, not behind the security screen. Please don't leave it visible to anyone who might walk past. We don't want to give burglars an opportunity to see that no one is home. It's important to keep the money in the money bag and inside of the Red Shield Appeal bag at all times. Once you have finished collecting in your area, you can return to the counting house with the money you've collected. If you need a lift back, it might be best to phone the driver a few minutes before you have finished so that you aren't waiting around too long before being picked up. Once you get back to the counting house, you need to count your money and fill in the remainder of the front of the receipt books. If you have any checks, add them all up and place the total in the column marked checks. Then, add up your notes and write the appropriate sum in the notes column. Then the same with the coins. Once you have these totals, add them all together for the grand total. Once you've done that, simply hand your bag to the counting house staff and you will be given your free Big Mac voucher. The Salvation Army wants to thank you so much for your assistance in our appeal today. Now go and have a great day, and don't forget to come again and help us next year. Thank you and God bless.